It's day 5 after coming out as an atheist to my fundamentalist Christian family, and not much has really changed. Nobody has reached out to me, except for a sibling I haven't lived with since 2000, and I guess the technical term is ghosting. Just like previous days, my family doesn't call me, and they randomly text me things that have nothing to do with me coming out. It's kind of like they're avoiding the whole subject, hoping it goes away. Yeah, that doesn't work. You have to face, the truth, the problems. You have to accept that people live their own lives. And, ghosting and avoiding people is extremely toxic. Nobody deserves to be ghosted after courageously coming out for any reason. If a parent has extremely different beliefs, fine. You tell people before you ghost them. But it's just the way my family is. If they don't like something or they can't change something, it's kind of like being an ostrich. You just stick your head in the sand and hope everything goes away. And it's very emotionally avoidant. And I've been in therapy for almost 3 years trying to learn how to deal with emotionally avoidant people. How do we deal with people who disappoint us or just can't or won't be what we need them to be? Parents are supposed to be supportive, family's supposed to care about you, celebrate things even if they don't agree with them. And my mother feels like she's a failure because I don't believe the way she does. And she didn't fail me. I have an illustrious career. I'm a medical manager in an office. I make $50K plus a year. I've traveled everywhere in North America. I've lived in so many different places. I may not have any friends I can count on, but I get a lot of support from YouTube. I'm a success story. Plus, I was courageous enough to come out in an environment that forces conformity, gender roles, and whiteness. And I'm 100% convinced if I had texted my parents that I was engaged, they would have celebrated and congratulated me. But since I came out as atheist, my mother used to get texts from me and respond within an hour, and now there's nothing. Luckily, my therapist has always told me, deep down, we know how people behave, how we can expect them to behave due to previous history and knowledge of things that happen. Having the behavior displayed in front of us is different than believing something. You just have to accept that there are people in this world, in your life, that you're related or know, that will never be what they need to be, what you need them to be. So you have to move on and realize that no matter how good of a person you turn out, there are some people that regardless of the perfect kind of person you are, how law-abiding, how much you grow and succeed and travel and experience, no matter what honors you get from education, if your parents believe that if you don't have the same beliefs they have, that they failed you or that you're a failed child, there's nothing you can do about it. You have to live with integrity and accept the things you can't change. And sometimes it's best just to walk away. Physically, emotionally, a combination of both. Sometimes you have to protect yourself by walking away. And there's a lot of people out there that still have a relationship with their parents after they come out, and that's great. You don't have to have your parents accept you, treat you with any respect. But I do encourage people who have the courage to come out, the opportunity, the desire, and the safety to come out. Don't let people walk over you. Don't let people get away with treating you like garbage. If someone ghosts you, then realize that you need to match their emotional labor, their emotional interest and enthusiasm. And when somebody doesn't have any enthusiasm and they just have work and don't provide any emotional labor, and they just take from you, and then they gaslight you when you won't give them back, sometimes you have to learn to love what's good for you. And what's good for you is finding people who respect you for being the best version of yourself. They push you to be constantly, every day, the best version of yourself. And they don't let you slide. They don't let you be anything but your best version. They call you out when you behave poorly. They celebrate with you even if they don't believe the same way. They congratulate you and emotionally support you. That's what family is. It's not about blood. It's about being reliable, consistent, caring, being a green flag. And sometimes you have to create and go find your family. Sometimes you just have to cut yourself out of a bad family. And it's sad that parents lose out when they choose to reject their kids. But I'd rather someone show their true colors than lie to me my whole life. And at least when my parents die in the next 10 years, whatever relationship we don't have, or what my parents don't pursue with me, I can bury my parents knowing that they had all the answers, they had all the information to have a good relationship with me. And they chose to squander it, or chose to just not pursue it. And it's so freeing for me to just let go of my fantasies. And that's really why they ghosted me. They had fantasies that I had to be a certain kind of person, and when I'm not, when I can't or won't be that fantasy, they can't handle it. Even though they created the fantasy, the expectations, and the reason why people come out, they'll never see it that way. And you have to love what's good for you. And what's good for people is to find people who care about them and want what's best for them, even if they're not related or have anything in common with you. You have to love what's good for you. And the sad reality is, I'm lucky enough to choose to come out of my own free will without being outed. I'm at an age where I'm not financially, emotionally, and psychologically dependent on my parents and family to survive or to thrive. There's something in every child that needs their parents' support, needs their encouragement, and just needs their presence. But for a lot of people, myself included, we unfortunately got parents that never should have been parents. They're emotionally, psychologically, and physically unable or unwilling to be the kind of parent required to be a decent parent. And just because somebody has kids doesn't mean they should. And I talked to my sister earlier today. She believes that parents should get respect because they brought you into this world and that we shouldn't criticize them. And I told her, you don't get respect for bringing someone into this world. That's a choice that one or two adults made. You don't get respect because you can procreate. You get respect because you never make your child feel like they're the reason why you have a crappy life. Good parents don't blame their kids for their own faults, their own shortcomings, and their own crappy, apathetic lives. And my mother blamed me and my siblings for everything. There was very little to no accountability. Sometimes you just have to leave. Luckily, I'm at a time in my life where I can just leave. I don't have to put up with people's crap anymore. And setting boundaries is an amazing way to create an environment and expectations and effective communication so everyone knows what's okay, what's not okay, and what kind of things makes everyone live their life in a positive way. Boundaries aren't about controlling the other person, about maintaining what you want. It's about setting a standard. It's about setting expectations, communicating. And boundaries are about how you react to things, not how you control other people. And that's why I like boundaries, because everyone knows what my boundaries are. They know why I have those boundaries. They know what I will do if those boundaries are violated. I will call people out for violating those boundaries, and then I will immediately leave. Because I don't have to stay and deal with these kind of things anymore. And they can never say, I don't know why you left. I don't know why you're acting this way. Because they do. That's why you create boundaries. And if people constantly violate your boundaries, you need to constantly talk to yourself. Find out if what you're getting from them is worth the stress of constantly having to redefine and maintain your boundaries. And if all I get back is conditional love, I'd just rather not have parents. If I wanted conditional love, I could go to a bar. I don't need parents. Nobody needs parents. We need positive role models, not just parents. And sometimes you have to meet your own emotional needs. That's why I live life. My motto is, put the oxygen mask on your face before you help other people. That's how I live my life. I create an environment where I take care of myself, my needs, my mental health, and if everything is nailed down in my life, then I help other people. I'm no good to anybody if I'm not whole already, or a semblance of being whole. Sometimes you have to live what my family calls selfishly. I have to prioritize my needs, my wants, my mental health, my boundaries, because I honestly believe that nobody I lived with during my childhood, my two siblings, my two parents, will prioritize me in a healthy way. So I have to prioritize myself while they gaslight me and tell me that I'm being selfish. No, I'm not being selfish. I'm living in a healthy way. There's a big difference. And toxic people, I don't think, want to know the difference. And I will never admit there is a difference. Selfishness hurts people. Living a self-defining, focused life is not selfish. It maintains good positivity. But it's going pretty well. I mean, it's not amazing. It's not awesome. But every day it's an adventure. And like a lot of people out there, I'm just going to have to learn how to emotionally live without my parents. And I'm sure there's a club on YouTube somewhere where people have the same problem. Luckily, I'm not being thrown out of my house, and I'm not having my life threatened, and I'm not losing my college tuition coverage. So it's not as serious as other people who unfortunately were outed or came out and now they have those kind of issues. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, and we'll have to move forward. And being an atheist is not easy for me. But the piece of it is easy. It's not easy being different. And like they say in Harry Potter, it takes courage to stand up to your friends and your family. And when your family doesn't acknowledge that it takes courage and that it takes a lot of self-confidence and just not giving a damn about other people, and have that ignored, minimized, and said that you're coming out reminded them of a newspaper, a newspaper notice is very dehumanizing. But that's the kind of background I'm used to.